Hello, Matt.
Hello, Ron.
We are here looking at the new update for No Man's Sky, the Atlas update.
The Atlas Rises update.
Okay. This is
Brand new.
Matt's. This is gameplay from you.
It is. It is. My first time to turn the game on after I bought it.
So what are we looking at here? This menu here. This is new.
That was new, completely new to me. That's why I'm scrolling through it so slowly. Last time I played, it just went straight in. I've never seen any of this before, but there's new options now. So survival mode, permadeath mode.
And in the original, was it just normal mode, and that was it?
Just normal.
I'd be more of a survival kind of guy.
I probably would myself. I would think of starting it again, but yeah, just to try it out, I hopped into my old save.
And is it just normal? Gives you a couple of extra. Does it give you extra money, or what does survival actually bring, or do you even know?
Harder to come by fuel for your ship.
Okay.
You know, enemies do more damage. The usual. It's just a hard mode, like a usual kind of thing. I don't think it affects the economy of the game much, like less money for this or the other.
I seen permadeath there as well. Again, a cool aspect.
It is. If you die once, that's it. Start again. You've lost everything.
Some people like that. I do like a hardcore difficulty, but I also like, not dying and losing your save. I think it can be good for that playthrough, but I think it is very hard to replay a game that
can. But there's probably some people out there who would like to hop in and see how far they can get before they lose it all.
What are you looking at here? Is this just basically what was updated from?
Basically, yes. Hello Games has been hard at work. It takes time and improve and expand No Man's Sky.
So as a kind of an original buyer of the game and someone that was looking out for this game for a long time, and personally I was as well, but I seen it started to slip towards the end. I thought the amount of content that was being brought out, Sean Murray was very kind of hesitant to give any sort of information.
His teeth, basically.
Lying through his teeth. But we've kind of brought this up before, that it was, when this game was first announced, it was this amazing indie project that people were like, holy crap,
it was.
Is this even possible? And I think...
And it wasn't.
No, well,
it wasn't.
It wasn't. But
I was so excited for this initially, and I bought it, as you know, straight away. Special edition, pre-ordered well in
box
advance,
set.
months in
the
advance.
Blu-ray box set.
And my heart was broken. It's not that it was bad. Like, I played it and I enjoyed it for about 2 or 3 months, but then you just sort of realise I had nothing to do. Absolutely nothing to do.
So I heard a lot of the gripes were it got a little bit samey.
Yeah.
What, 10 hours? Would you have even got 10 hours into the game?
I'd say overall I put about 10 hours into it over a month, because I was just busy enough at that time, just with college and stuff, so I didn't get much game.
How much did you pay for this game originally?
Full price, €75. €75.
And to me, that's where I think this game has failed. Well, it hasn't failed now, like, because they're still obviously updating it, but I think initially the failure was the fact that they did try and get full price for this game, when it was a kind of a talking point when the game was going to be released. Was it going to be a full price game? And everyone kind of accepted the fact that what we were being shown was you'd land on a planet, there was animals everywhere, there was things to discover everywhere, and yeah, I'll pay 60 or 70 quid for this game. But when you got it, we seen the lies started to creep through, and the fact that it felt very samey and very repetitive.
Definitely. Missions. But see, even this menu here, this was new to me. There was no primary missions or secondary missions last time I was playing it.
You were saying that actually. That
there's guilds. There's guilds that you can join. There's a merchants guild, a mercenaries guild, an explorers guild. There's the procedurally generated planets that they talked about. However, there's procedurally generated quests, so you'll never run out of missions.
They don't get samey though, do they? Well, it's easy to say that.
I haven't played much of them, but I assume like most of the merchant missions are probably revolve around the same thing. You know what I mean?
So just to give people a little backstory about this game on our experiences, I have never actually played this game, and by me looking at this now, it actually looks a lot more story driven than
polished,
I thought it would be.
Even polished at the time.
Okay. Like was this in the original? See, like, did you get to talk to kind of alien figures?
You did, but see the field of view that sort of brings them into focus compared to the background if you're talking to them. Before it was just real bland.
Okay.
It was real bland. You were just sort of looking at. It was like looking at. You may as well not been chatting to him. You weren't focused on him. You were seeing everything else around him too.
So they are not only are they doing gameplay updates, but they're actually making the game look better as well.
Yeah, completely polishing it.
I mean, this looks cool. Like, I mean, it looks like you're in a space station with an alien life form.
I'm in a space station with alien life forms.
And I just seen you looking out the window there at was it a planet?
That all moves in real time as well. So you see ships coming and going as you're sitting there.
Everything so far seems pretty interesting and something that I would. What is this on the store now? Is it 16 quid?
14.50 is what I bought it for.
That's ridiculous price for a game.
14.50. And when I traded it in, I bought it for 75. Traded it in, and I think because I traded it in when it was still very new, I got €40 back.
Right.
So it wasn't as
40 quid back isn't bad.
Wasn't bad at all, but I didn't lose too much money in the long run.
No. Some might say you made some money. That's not bad going. So where do I want to go with this now? It seems to me that, and we kind of talked about this before we started this show, that it would have been very easily for Hello Games to just, you know, leave this in the dust, let people forget about it, and I think it would have been forgotten about. But the fact that they have gone and continue to update it, and it seems to be a trend even in development. When this game was being made, it was always about, because it went through a couple of different delays. I remember it was delayed, people went fucking apeshit, they wanted the game out, and then I think Sony got on their back and said we need this game out, you need to set a date. And when we got that date, everyone was like, yes, it's coming out, we're going to get it. And when it came out, obviously what happened, but I think you have to give credit where credit is due. The fact 100%. That they continue to update. They continue to update, and I'm sure they're still updating.
It would have been very easy for them to bury their heads in the sand, take a project from another studio, and just try move on and forget No Man's Sky and put it off as a black mark on their books. You know what I mean? And try and make something new to give themselves a better name. But instead, they're working with what they have.
This was
I admire that in a way. That they haven't given up on their baby.
It's you have to commend them for that. But wasn't this a team of 4? Was it 4 developers?
It's
I remember initially. Now I know the fact that Sony came on board. Obviously, they would have gave more resources, more money.
Marketing.
Obviously, the marketing was through the roof with this game. It went ridiculous. And the fact that I remember seeing this at one of the E3s where you land on a planet, it was like Jurassic Park. There was just stuff coming by, and it was just like, can this be real? And people got on the hype train, I think a little bit too much, but you know what, sometimes the hype is nice to have. It's nice to look forward to something. And
as you can see there, that's mission board, just a mission board. So every time you arrive in a space station, a list of missions with leveled ranks, of course. So as you're standing with a race builds up, you get access to that better paying, harder missions, as they say.
So you looked out the window there and you seen a planet. Are you going to go and travel to that planet? Because that's literally the first thing that I would think of. I look out a window, I see a planet, let's go and visit that planet.
Yeah, I was. This is another thing that changed. I noticed straight away when I got on the ship. I actually forgot how to fly the ship, but see the style, the HUD, everything around you in the ship, that was different. It was real bland before.
I remember that.
Didn't look pretty.
I remember that in the gameplay footages when it was first released, that it looked, I don't know how to even explain the style. It was very simplistic. What I'm seeing now, it seems to be a lot more deeper than I remembered.
It's like an overhaul. It was like a complete overhaul.
Do you think it would save the game? Do you think No Man's Sky is around the corner?
It would have saved it for me. I wouldn't have traded it in. I wouldn't have lost interest the way I did if this was what was released the first time around.
So this is basically you.
I was coming out of a station and pirate threat detected him.
Okay.
And then this again, I knew like something started.
So you're always kind of getting stuff like in your face, kind of keeping you ticking along. Where
what happens here? This was my introduction into they introduced the main story into the game.
Okay.
So there's 30 hours, I think it is 30 hours.
30 hours is a normal game, and you're saying you paid, say, €15.
Yeah.
Like for 30 hours, 15 quid ain't bad.
It's the full game, not including side missions or.
So you see bounty mission target. Is this a guy that you need to track down and kill? Is it?
Yeah, it's pretty much pirates.
So you're getting used to your weaponry there, yeah.
Yeah.
You've got. It looks like a boost there. Is that's your FTL kind of drive, getting you from one spot to the other?
Yeah, pretty much. Just it's like a quick boost, but you have your pulse drive as well then to jump across.
What is? I see the way, because I'm coming from the likes of Elite Dangerous, and we'll talk about that in another show. But with Elite Dangerous, the crosshair, you see the way it kind of locks on to the enemy there.
Yeah, but it locks onto him in your view, but you still need to follow.
You still need to bring that target in.
Do you see the white dot that's moving around?
Okay.
The target.
Yeah.
That's where you should be shooting.
Right. Yeah. I like that.
So there's a distance. You don't just point at him and shoot. You have to sort of point.
This looks pretty good, man.
Where he will be.
This looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, like literally the second I turned it on for the first time in half a year, if not more, and this was the first thing that happened to me, I was back into it.
Like this looks like a proper dogfight. There's obviously guys that are with you here trying to help you. That guy just took out. And what's that? You just picked up some shield, or
you're picking up sort of some resources that were left behind from the ship you blew up, the pirates. It might be fuel, it might be something more valuable. You know, could be looking to draw. Depends on the size of the ship.
And what is this area now you're heading towards? What's the skull? It's obviously.
That is the bounty contract that I was after taking on.
Okay.
So now that's the space station that I left, and we're just going back in to hand in the contract.
What is the landing like? Is it just kind of head towards that and click a button and it'll land, or
as soon as you hit into that blue,
it'll kind of bring you in.
Guides you in.
That's fair enough. I can understand that.
This is what I was saying to you before about the Elite Dangerous. It's not as intricate as that.
It still looks pretty cool though. Like give it. Yeah. So this is obviously you being shot into the station.
Like I'm not in control there physically.
So you can take it. This is kind of loading in your NPCs and the mission.
Yeah, it's generating it.
So this ship here, what's this ship? Is that just another NPC ship?
It's another NPC ship. But if you're in a hangar like that and you see an NPC and he flies in and he parks, you can go up to the ship, press triangle, and talk to the driver.
Okay.
And that's sort of like the Elite Dangerous contact list. You know, you just sort of zoom into him. He's sitting in his chair,
right?
And you have a list of options. Try and sell goods to him. Try and buy goods from him, or make an offer on the ship. Like if you
can buy a ship off him.
Like if his ship looks great and you're like, that's very cool. You can compare the two of your ships. You can make him an offer, either.
That's cool.
Try and buy his ship off him. So my standing with that race of aliens is after increasing, and I'm after getting nanite clusters, which are new as well. It's another form of currency that's.
One of the big complaints about this game was inventory management. I think your inventory used to fill up a lot quicker. Has that been improved?
It has. They've added in. So you used to have to see all your upgrades take up a slot in your inventory.
Yeah.
So they added in a new part
like a
of
separate
your inventory that's just for technology.
Okay, nice.
And a new part of your inventory ship that's just for cargo.
Right, so cargo is kind of the stuff you're picking up all along. You're mining. You're picking up.
Cargo is
fuel
stuff that you'll sell. There's an intergalactic
market
trade network, and prices rise and fall. So in one system, the price for
that's pretty cool.
One good will be really expensive, and in another system, it'll be 300% less.
Okay,
galactic average. So you might buy it in that system and bring it to another system where it's 300% times.
So there's a working economy in the game.
There's a working economy. As you can see, you see the technology slot on the ship there. That's to do with the.
So you're obviously going looking and seeing what the story is with the controls.
Yeah, it took me a while to get back into the handling.
But that's why, like, I like that because there's obviously a little bit of depth to the game where you have to.
There's roll right. There's pulse drives. There's, you need to. They've also when you go into a planet, there was a complaint before that you couldn't fly low.
Right.
That there was like a magic force field that had to stop you on the planet. We'll probably have to click into the second video I brought in.
Let's go and have a look at the second video.
There was train of thought loses me.
You're talking about the
a magic force field stopped you from crashing in, and you just couldn't land. That was it.
Right.
Now, if you can fly low, they took that out, so you could actually crash your ship if you flew too low into the planet.
That's good.
And then you're stuck there until you can repair it.
So is it like a crash site where you have to go off and look for materials, or how does that work?
I'm not too sure. But I haven't crashed it yet. I'm too good. But
so this is you obviously coming into a planet.
Did
you just pick this planet, or is there a reason why you're coming here?
No, between this and the last video, the main story started. You're contacted by. Actually, to back it up, do you remember the complaints of it was supposed to be multiplayer?
Yeah.
And then everybody was alone in the universe. The story that they've crafted over the course of the year actually feeds into that. You're contacted by a member of a fourth dimensional race.
Okay.
That doesn't want to be alone in the universe anymore.
Yeah.
And that there's 16 of them, and that you're one of his race too.
Right.
And that your memory is gone, and you're sort of looking for answers and trying to solve the mystery of the 16.
Yeah.
And picking up holograms and getting in contact with different people reaching out to you across the star systems. So I haven't played too much into it, but it grabbed me. It was interesting.
Yeah, it was trying to get that multiplayer aspect that you were promised at the start.
Yeah, and exactly.
The thing about Sean Murray that I always remember is he used this kind of aspect where you may be able to meet someone, and the fact that he always said maybe, I kind of knew myself that it wasn't going to be the generic, oh, me and you are going to hook up and play No Man's Sky together, you're going to be flying beside me. I knew that from the start, and I think a lot of people misread that message, and maybe the message was a bit convoluted, but I never thought for once that you would be able to fly beside, you know, a friend and go do a mission together. I knew that because I have come from games like Dark Souls, and Dark Souls, they deal with multiplayer a little bit differently, where yes, you can join up, but there is this aspect where you actually see the ghost of someone that is playing the game. You can't interact with them, but you know they're there. And I always thought that this was the way this game was going to be, that you would be able to see a ghost of... Is that the way?
They've introduced it with the latest update.
Okay.
You can share a world with, I think it's up to 16 people, and they appear as an orb of light. Yeah.
Very much like
around.
the Soul series.
And as they said, it's the first step into the multiplayer that they were talking about. Maybe one day they'll get to an update where they can actually physically, I could join you and play in a smaller setting
see
together.
Going from a game that is this massive, the problem that you have is each, say, area or planet, like when you flew into that planet, it loads up an instant, and the problem that you will get is you could come in to the same planet, but it will load up a different instance for you, if you get me.
Possibly.
So we might not be able to see each other, even though I know you're there. We might be looking at each other, but you could be in a different loaded, say, server than what I'm in, and I think that's the problem you're going to get with these massive games. But look, we're really early in stages. Like, there's only been games like No Man's Sky made in the last 5 years, really, properly. That you can discover these massive galaxies.
I have changed my tune on it from my initial bought the game, got disappointed, heartbroken.
So this is you kind of exploring the planet.
I have changed my tune to now it's a work in progress. Yeah. And I assume they're going to continue working on it for years, possibly.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a year later, and
it does look quite well. The graphical updates have been good. The inside of the ship looks great, I think.
I like the way it kind of the ship movement, like it doesn't feel like it's stuck. It feels like it's organic. It's kind of moving. It's the wind is passing you, and you feel like a little bit of a shake. I like that.
There is, and the sound as well when you're listening to it, like playing loud volume. There's a racket or ruckus to your ship, and you sort of feel the controller vibrating. It feels like you're moving from side to side.
So tell me about
turbulence.
ships. How would you go about upgrading this ship? Like, what options do you have with, say, upgrades and maybe buying a new ship?
Technology, you have to find. You have to find the blueprint. You know what I mean. You have to know how to make it.
Okay.
Once you know how to make something, it's just a matter of if you want to upgrade your pulse drive.
Right.
Yeah, find a blueprint, and once you have that blueprint, you just need to get the supplies to make it, to craft it.
Yeah.
You go into your menu and you can just, there's a craft option in the menu to allow you to upgrade the ship from there.
So
see this, like the size of the
it
planet.
does. It looks like
the size of the
you're
planet
flying
huge.
around here, and it doesn't look, you know, like this. There's a couple.
Yeah,
There's like a mountain here that you're going over. There's a planet in the distance, which I'm sure you can go and visit.
It took me quite a while to get to where I was going, because
like that blue pillar there looks like it could be, you know, explored, and it does. It looks amazing. Like
there is intrigue in it. There is intrigue. That stuff that keeps you.
What I'm
wanting
interested
to see what's over the next hill.
Yeah, what I'm interested now is going and seeing a completely different planet, and just to see the comparison with one to the other, because I think that was one of the biggest complaints was it started to get a little bit samey after a while. People were amazed at the start, but it started to kind of drip off where there was nothing to do, which I think is a huge problem in games. Like, no matter how big the spectacle can be, you need to have a drive. You need to have something to do. You need to have, you know, an economy to trade, or a mission to do, or and even if it's something small, I think people will cling on to that. And it looks like they're after getting something like a goal.
They do listen to their feedback. They do listen to their feedback.
Yeah.
And yeah, one of my problems initially was, why do I have to go to this planet? Why do I want to go to this new planet and have a look around? But now, when I started up on this playthrough, I had a reason. I stayed in the one star system for a long time because I had a reason to go to each planet, trying to piece together this mystery and triangulate this mysterious stranger's location by having to travel to different planets and set up beacons and different
I like that. It gives you the goal. So here's obviously what's this?
This is a hollow terminus, I believe it is, that allows you to. It's basically like a phone call station, phone box that lets you have conversations over the universe, really.
So was that thing trying to kill you there?
Distance. Yeah, it's a plant that's alive. Defense mechanism went off when I got out too close.
That's pretty cool. Because I seen it. It was trying to attack you there. I was like, what the hell is this? So is this a weapon, or is this your gun that you use to collect?
It's a multi-tool. So that's a mining beam. You get all your resources like through mining, as you know, unless you want to buy them. But you press triangle and you can change to bolt caster or plasma gun, whatever upgrade you have installed, really.
I think one of the things that you really have to give it to them is there has been games on PC like this, but it was really ahead of its time for the stuff that they were showing, that you could, you know, look. Like, the biggest aspect to this game was you look up, you see a planet, you can go to that planet, and even from the start they had that aspect. And that was the one thing where I seen people kind of buy this game at the start, and you were the same. You were upset, that was fine, but you traded it in. I seen a lot of people you know, getting refunds and taking money away from the developer, and fair enough, they might be right by doing that, but Hello Games are after going, and regardless of the profit they made, they have continued to support this game, and that is a huge applaud to Hello Games for doing that, because not too many developers would take this. Like, they must have got some unbelievable hate. Like, I'm sure there was horrible messages sent. Of course there was, because people can be horrible, but I mean, even with the death threats, even with the horrible message, like, look what they're after doing a year later, and people are still talking about this game. People were talking about this game a year before it was released, and now we're still talking about it a year after it's released. So I mean, you just have to put your hands up and say, look, continue to work on the game. They're obviously going in the right direction. They're not going backwards, it seems like. just by me looking at this footage, it makes me want to play it. You know, I'll probably go and download it.
There is an addictive quality to the game, and for the price of $14.50, it's crazy. I don't work for Hello Games, by the way. I'm not trying to push sales or anything.
I know, but come on, like.
For the price that's there, it's an endless playground.
It's
and
amazing.
The creative mode. You know what I mean?
Like, you're after spending 10 minutes in this area alone, like, and the universe is supposedly endless. Is that right?
Supposedly endless. I think. A friend of mine told me something about. There was, if every person in the world went to 30 planets in this game every minute for a year,
okay,
it would take like 50 or 60 years for every planet to be discovered. It's crazy. Yeah, I had to repair this holographic comms tower when I arrived to it.
So these items that you're looking at, are these in your inventory, or
the iron that I mined down below, and they were in my inventory. Yeah, the iron I mined down below, and when you mine iron, you can build the sheets of carite sheets, I think they're called.
This is part of the main quest, yeah.
This is part of the main quest.
It looks pretty decent.
Searching for this Artemis guy that contacted me out of the blue.
So none of this story aspect was in the core game. Am I right?
No, it was it was the Atlas path, and it was very
this is the guy that you're trying to figure out.
Searching for Artemis.
I don't know, it looks super interesting.
It was quite interesting.
Like, we've had a kind of experience with Elite Dangerous, but there's nothing like this really in Elite Dangerous. Like, there's no kind of go to a planet, there's no fix a module to try and get a hologram.
Yeah,
like, there's none of that.
And I think that's No Man's Sky's really unique selling point, is nothing else has that. Is if you want to get to the planet, you can hop out of your ship,
yeah,
and you can pull out your gun, and if you wanted to go around shooting at the Sentinel robots, then you can. And people were griping about that there was the old complaint, you know, you're travelling through all these worlds, there's no cities, there's no civilization. I read somewhere that the new story introduces why there's no civilization.
Okay.
That all the species are surviving on these space stations, right, because of these Sentinel robots that are on each planet. And there's something to do.
They are trying to kind of build a lore and trying to build a universe.
Trying to build a backstory that they can possibly be updated for years to come, like almost get to an MMO-esque level.
It's interesting.
With players and lore and keep going.
It's cool
back.
that we're talking about No Man's Sky in a positive sense after release, because
here we go with the fourth race, Discoverer of Worlds.
It's amazing. So just to kind of go off the whole story aspect, one of the another kind of big aspect that they brought into the gameplay was building bases. So tell me what exactly like, why would you build a base? What does it bring to you as a player?
Technology and advancements for kind of, if you wanted to play it in a similar way to some way people play Elite Dangerous, you want to be a trader.
Okay.
The base, you can grow crops rather than trying to mine all the stuff. You can start growing your own stuff to bring to the trades markets at your base.
That makes sense. Is it a Minecraft aspect? Is it you can build the base the way you want it, or is it you just pick a blueprint and that's it? Is that a cave over there?
That's a cave over there.
That's pretty cool, because I that's
didn't
where
go in. It looked a bit too alien-esque for me.
I know, I'd be going straight in there to see if there'd be any eggs now.
Yeah.
That looks cool.
I only had one play around with base building. I hopped out. I didn't record it, unfortunately, but I hopped out and I went into the creative mode, just to have a mess around.
Yeah.
And it starts you off on a planet. There's no cost. If I wanted to build a base and this go here, like, I'm gonna have to pay for everything.
Yeah.
There's no cost in creative mode. You can build what you want as you like, as you please. So I built this crazy massive base. I had like underground levels to the base. I had massive levels going up into the sky.
Yeah.
Whatever. You could just build.
So what are you doing here? You're planting something, or?
Yeah, I need to build a signal booster.
Okay.
Pretty much. But if memory serves, I don't have.
And you're not going to go in that cave.
I'm
as
not
much
going
as
to
I
go in
want
that
you
cave.
to.
I don't think I am. No. And I don't think I have the iron or plutonium to build it. So I think.
But
I'd
isn't
go
that great? Like the difference between the way you'd play a game is you're like.
completely?
I'm definitely not going into that cave.
Yeah.
Me, I would like my curiosity. I'd be in there. There'd be face huggers on my face. I'd be fucking strung up on the wall. I think it's really cool, and I think that open element. We're just going to go on to the next.
Yeah, it skips ahead again, I believe, in this last one.
So apologies for the bad video editing, but
yeah, I'll jump on that sword.
No, not at all. We can continue on. It's been some good conversation. So is this is obviously another planet, or is this the same planet?
This is another planet, I think. Or actually, is it the same planet? I'm pretty sure I have to build.
It looks similar.
I had to build a couple of those signal boosters that you seen in the last video. I had to build a couple of them to triangulate my position in space to help me find Artemis. I can't find Artemis if I can't find myself.
It's spiritual almost. But tell me, what was I going to say there? Traveling from one area to another, does it take a long time to go from this planet to the next planet, or is there a fast travel aspect?
There's no fast travel. You can't just look at the galactic map and pick the planet to go to. So
okay,
it can take time, and it is a gripe I have sometimes. Is it might say to you that you're 20 seconds from this location, but as soon as you get into the planet, it could take you a long time. So it's nearly sometimes quicker to leave the planet.
Okay. And is there a load screen when you're leaving the planet?
No load screens. You just point up and fly.
Okay. So who's this guy?
He is
Research Entity Amma.
Yeah, he's a Korvax. They're
Amadeus.
like cybernetic species that used to be slaves, and
see, there's some nice
rose
lore there
up against their masters and rebelled and won their independence before.
Is this what this guy just told you, or did you read up about it?
No, this is something I know just from playing it previously.
So it seemed to got rid of that whole aspect of learning a language. I remember that
that's still present.
It's still there, is it?
There.
Well, I hope they kind of advanced that a little bit, because I remember there was a lot of gripes about that as well, where you would learn the language but they didn't really say anything of any importance, like, and people went out and searched the galaxy and learnt this whole language, but there was nothing really to come by it. It was just a load of garbage being
out of it.
So this looks pretty cool. This is not a space station, but a station on a...
It's like just a terminal, a trade hub on a planet.
Okay.
Really, so that's the galactic, your intro into the galactic markets.
Sounds like there's a lot to it. Like I am really intrigued just by watching these videos. I didn't think... I thought I was actually going to be bored, because I seen gameplay footage before, and I was just like, the aspect of flying from one planet to another intrigues me, but there's only so many times you can do that before you're gonna go, right, like you know, like what is there to do now? I need something to have a goal to do, and I need a mission to, you know, a quest to do, or a story to unravel, and there seems to be
they've
all that and more.
They've given you a reason to. At this point, actually, you can see, I don't think I go to it now, but you see my base pops up on the radar. I didn't do much with it. I found an empty terminal that you can claim as your home then.
Right.
So that's how your base building starts. You can't just start with, oh, I'm going to build here and plop down a unit.
Yeah.
You find an area, and there'll be like an abandoned outpost.
Yeah, and you can take that and start. That's fair enough.
Claim it as your own and start building up from there.
What I like about this game, what I always liked about this game, was the art style and the colours that it used. I love that kind of old,
vibrant,
neon kind of retro look. I always did like it. I even liked it when we first seen trailers of No Man's Sky, and it seems to have kind of held that aspect from start to finish. What's this here? Is this a fleet that you're going to?
That's a fleet. You can buy a freighter now as well.
That's cool.
And it's new, and you can buy a freighter if you're into the trading and everything. You'll move a lot more in a huge freighter that you can jump with as well. You can bring it on your hyperspace.
I seen the jumps with the big freighters coming in, but I always thought that was a showpiece for the trailers to show these freighters coming in. Another thing I wanted to ask you about the freighters is, can you destroy other freighters?
I've heard rumours that you can.
Because what I always loved was, if there's a freighter here and you have enough firepower to take it out, I love like zooming down, start letting off bullets, like and going away, coming back, letting off, and then eventually the thing just blows up. Like I would absolutely love something like that.
I know.
Like can you travel to that fleet and cause a bit of ruckus, or is it just
yes, yeah. Okay. You can try and pirate them, as they say. There's, to give you something to aim for, there's like certain areas around the fleet, because you're so small and that fleet is huge.
Yeah.
There's not a huge chance that you would take out the whole fleet by yourself.
Right.
So instead, you're more to be likely to do a pirate attack.
Yeah.
So there's pods, transport hubs on the side of the fleet that if you knock that out, there's going to be a huge amount of resources that comes out of that hub. It's going to be well protected, but if you knock out this one part of the ship, huge amount of resources that will come out that are worth huge money to you. So you might try and just do a quick sweep attack. Try and grab and go, hit them hard,
super interesting,
and jump out of there.
So, because this is coming to the end of this last and final video, what's your kind of overall look of this game after 1 year, and tell the fans out there why they should, if they were first time comers, they bought the game first and they were upset and they traded it in, or they got their money back or whatever, or if they're like me and give this game a try, why should they give them a try?
Especially
why should
now,
they give this game a try?
With the price that it is, you're not going to find much else out there that offers as much gameplay options as this does for the price it is.
Yeah.
And you have hours of gameplay.
Well, you said 30 hours of a main story.
Of a main story.
And that's without me, like, because personally I would have went in that cave. I know
exactly.
I know you're afraid, but I would have went in that cave.
There's always going to be, someone's always going to have some kind of cave that they're going to go into. There's going to be a cave for everybody, regardless of what kind of cave.
How do you find the space battle?
Interesting.
It's good, is it? It looks pretty decent.
It handles pretty well and it's enjoyable.
It does.
And
it looks very good.
When it finishes, you're sort of, I wish I didn't blow them up. I wish I was still fighting them.
And do they happen often, or is it kind of a rare instant, or?
It depends. It depends on the cargo you're carrying as well.
Okay, so why are these attacking you?
Because I have, unbeknownst to myself, I wasn't intending on carrying, but I'm actually carrying some very valuable materials off of that planet that I was on.
Nice.
And I didn't realise they were valuable. I just picked them up.
See the way the space, it kind of looks bluey. Does that ever change, or is it kind of
depending on whereabouts in the universe you are? Yeah, it does. So every system sort of has a different hue to it, depending on what colour its sun is, whereabouts in the Milky Way kind of position it is. It's almost like a galactic cloud, a galactic dust or something that covers the universe. But it does change from place to place.
Well, all I want to say is I'm absolutely intrigued. I'm going to go and buy this game straight after this video and have it downloading.
I would.
And hopefully try and meet you as a little
floating orb of light.
You look like you're heading to Earth there.
It does look like Earth. No, that's a space anomaly, I believe.
But no, again, like this has been.
So the yellow one there is the space station, and purple is a space anomaly.
So you're going into like hyperdrive there to get there quicker.
I think I'm going to investigate. Yes, this is like it's like a simplified version of your Elite Dangerous system.
Yeah, to get there quicker.
You just have to hold L1 or L1 and you just press circle and it'll pull back out.
And sometimes simplicity is okay. Like when nobody's asking it to be a super space sim. People just wanted. I think people just wanted a goal, and I think we'll leave it at that. I think people just wanted to have something to aim for, and not being lied about. But what we do want to say is we're back in Hello Games at this stage. The fact that they're after going from like getting absolutely slaughtered, and I mean they were slaughtered.
I can't say enough how easy it would have been to bury their heads in the sand and forget about it, but they didn't.
And I think they're going to be hugely respected in years to come. So I think we'll leave it at there. This has been the Alpha Zone. This is Matt. My name is Ronan, and we'll catch you soon.
Thanks.